Put it on your face if you piss me off. I can pick my nose and I'll pick you off. Why you think this little dusty nigga glue?
All right, y'all, welcome in. Welcome to the very first episode of the Vibe Vault. I'm your host, Vinny G, the motherfucking boss. What's good? A little bit about me. I've lived life at the extremes. I've been a state champ wrestler under the bright light. I've fought in the cage for a short period of time. I've even been in a place where the only light you see is the one you make for yourself. But through it all, the wins, the losses, and the time I spent locked down, I learned one thing that cut through all that bullshit. Results don't fucking lie. This isn't your average fitness podcast. There are no fancy trends here. This is the vault, where we lock up the no holds barred truth. Today, we're talking about the foundation of real strength, something you can build anywhere with anything. Free weight. Alright, y'all, let's get into it. When you look around a commercial gym, what do you see? Rows of shiny machines that are there to hold your hand and guide you. They make you feel safe, right? Guess what? That's the fucking problem. They're selling you a lie. They're building an ego. They're not building real world functional power that you can use in a fucking street fight, right? I learned this on the wrestling mat. I also learned it again in the prison yard. You think a leg extension machine prepares you for explosive power needed to drive an opponent across the mat? Hell nah. And do you think it prepares you for a world with no options? A world where staying strong is more about survival? When I was inside, there was no machine. There was no perfectly knurled bar. My gym was a concrete floor. My free weights were trash bags filled with water, shifting and sloshing around with every single rep. You want to talk about a poor workout? Try squatting a sloshing water bag. That's actively trying to pull you off balance every fucking minute of the moment that you're lifting that shit. It's hard. Alright, first let's talk functional strength, y'all. And what that means. It means strength that works when life gets messy and unpredictable, like being in the pen or being in a street fight. Let's be real. When I was lifting those water bags in the pen, I wasn't just moving weight. I was building a system. My entire body had to fight for every single inch of movement. It was teaching my body to work as an entire unit to control that chaos. And the most important benefit from that, stabilization. This is the secret sauce when you're lifting. When you lift a perfectly balanced barbell, your stabilizer muscles work. When you lift an unbalanced, unpredictable object like a water bag or a kettlebell, or are you trying to control an opponent in a clinch or in a street fight, those tiny muscles have to scream just to keep you upright. Now that's the definition of functional power. It's the difference between looking strong and actually being strong. Machines don't train that. They just can't. They eliminate that struggle. But guess what? That struggle, that's where the power and strength is built. And that brings me to my next thing, the mental game. Guess what? There ain't nothing more humbling or honest than being in a cell with nothing but your own will to keep you going. Lifting wasn't really a hobby in there, it was more like a defiance. It was how I held on to a little piece of myself. It wasn't about PRs, it was about survival and self respect. Every rep was a test. It builds a different kind of mindset, a different type of mentalness, like that you carry, that you're just gonna carry with you forever. Uh, you want to start? You don't need anything like fancy gym equipment. You just need gravity and grit. Master the basics on whatever you have. So some of the things you can go ahead and work on just to get started. If you are just trying to get started, the squat. It's the king of all lifts, y'all. The deadlift teaches you to pick heavy shit up off the floor. The overhead press builds raw shoulder and core strength. The barbell row for a powerful back that protects your spine. Learn form and start with whatever your body can handle. You don't have to lift too heavy. You don't have to lift too light. You can lift just right. You don't have to push yourself. Because I promise you, the power and the strength, it's gonna come. All you gotta do is stay consistent. Consistency is really where it's at. All right, so let's cut the crap and get to the breakdown and the takeaway here. This is a no bullshit breakdown. All right, one, real strength is functional. It's built by teaching your body to work as a system. not as a set of isolated muscles on a machine. 2. True strength comes from stabilization. Controlling unpredictable weight, that's what protects your joints and makes you genuinely powerful. 3. The struggle is the point. Lifting in the toughest conditions with the most basic tools builds a level of mental toughness that no gym or fancy equipment could ever give you. Stop looking for the easy way out, y'all. The path to real strength is earned, not given. Alright, y'all, so that's it for the very first episode of the Vibe Vault. Thank you for listening and bearing with me. If you're tired of the bullshit and ready for the truth, hit that follow button and subscribe. I don't care where you're listening, just make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Next week, we're talking about the single most overrated, misunderstood thing in all of fitness: cardio. You think you know? Guess what? You have no idea. This is Vinny G, the boss, signing off. Stay strong and stay real, y'all. Holla at the kid. Don't forget to drop any questions, support, or comments about my podcast in the comment section, or shoot me an email. Look forward to seeing y'all next week. Holla at the kid.